Hi, everyone. This is Michele, team leader, Stockton Lodi Tracy, and I have Kelly here. Just explain to us what 72 Sold is all about. And we want to talk about all of our successes that we're having right now and all the masterminds that we're having right now just in-house, and how we've been supporting each other and coaching each other and encouraging each other and helping each other throughout the whole process, which is so amazing to see how all 5 offices are coming together. It's just, I love it, Kelly. Something we've always dreamed about, Suzanne and I, and it's happening.
No, I'm so excited. When you told me about this, I was like, 5 offices. I don't understand what you're talking about. And I love what you guys are doing. So thanks so much for the invitation. And right, I'm here basically to answer your questions and hear from you what's going on and how we can help support you even in higher level.
So a lot of these people who are on, obviously we open it out first to the ALC and some of our top 20%. So some of them have never even heard of what 72 is about until we started going crazy about it. Oh, they're advertised. Did you see the video or da 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 da?
Right.
So you may need to start.
Yeah, for sure. So in a nutshell, 72 Sold is a program that generates seller leads. It does not generate buyer leads unless your seller also buys a home, which of course happens, but no, it is intended to generate seller leads. And for $72 a month, you get access, and we can certainly go into specifics if you need me to later. You get access to over $1 million worth of marketing. They just hit that mark, I think, last month. Over $1 million worth of marketing assets. And those are professionally produced videos. Those are postcards. Those are letters to expired. It's anything you can think of that could possibly go towards a residential seller. This program has it for you. And so you get to basically, for that $72, you get to license the material. You also then get 3 live trainings every single week with the founder and creator, where they are hearing from you and what's going on, but then you also get to hear from them about things that are changing, things that are maybe tweaking a little bit in different markets. Oh shoot, I had it open and now it's closed. Here we go. So for example, today is Wednesday. They do calls on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Today was specifically about hearing from a couple of agents who are using this and how they're using it on just very specific ways. I'm just reading through this. Right, ask sellers, think it's just a Harvard real estate team call. There's just different things. One day it was all about just luxury and using this to attract luxury. So it's a different topic every day. You get a text on what that topic is going to be so that you can choose to log in or not. And all of those classes are recorded so that you can access anyone in the past that you might have missed or need to hear again. And then you can say, okay, great, I'm doing the program. It's working for me. I'm getting a good amount of business. But maybe you want to just turn the dial up a little bit, or you want to get some more time back in your day. That's when you can then take advantage of the National Ad Fund. Those are the commercials that are running on CBS, NBC, and ABC. And so that is for an additional, so $72 a month. For an additional $1,500 a month, you can get 4 to 6 listing referrals a month. These listing referrals, they convert from lead to close. Right now at about 38% is what we're seeing, somewhere between 38 and 42%. There are certainly outliers. There's this one woman named Teresa who has a 95% conversion rate. She's also been doing this for a couple of years now because she's in part of the original Arizona group. But 38 to 42% conversion rate from lead to close.
That's awesome. So,
all right, so that's basically the program. It's nothing complicated.
Well, it's they have to use the whole listing presentation, the whole process.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's
so that's
important.
that's a good point to bring up. So if I'm sitting at home tomorrow night or tonight and I'm watching the news and I've had a long day, I'm exhausted, I've got a glass of wine in my hand, and a commercial comes on for this new innovative way to sell my house using 72 Sold, then that would be me actually getting up off of my couch, going to my computer, logging in, spending some time to go do that. I'm expecting the agent to call me to tell me about using this innovative new way of selling my house using 72 Sold. So yes, you do need to use their listing presentation when it comes to doing a 72 Sold listing, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, right, that's one of those where agents who can be brand new, agents who can be 30 years in the business, it doesn't matter. your tenure. It doesn't matter your track record. What matters is your ability to actually follow the model.
Right, right. Okay, so I just received a text from one of our top agents, Nagi, right, Manpreet? She's like, good morning, Michele. I love 72 sold calls. I have never spent this much time on calls. Now I look forward to these calls. I'm learning a lot. Thanks for introducing me to this. I love you.
The Monday, Wednesday, Friday calls, right? That's one of those where I remember we were first talking about this with agents and people were like, well, listen, are the calls required? And I said, no,
Right.
they're not. Actually, 72 sold doesn't make them required. Their job is to make them as valuable as possible so that you want to be on them. So it's nice to hear that she
Yeah,
felt that
yeah.
way.
And she's our top 1%. And then Susie Dunning said the same thing to me. And so, she's on them all the time. I'm like, oh my God, how many are there, but it's working. And is Shannon on here? Shannon Stallings? I'm looking. No, but she posted in our Facebook group a really good comment. Desiree, do you remember that comment that she made, or what was it? It was
Yes,
something.
she basically, on a new listing that she took that was not initiated from any of her lead source through 72, it's just one that she had, but she used the 72 sold program step by step, and she actually put it pending within 72 hours and above the list price. And she did everything, basically used the tools here for her listing and was successful with that.
That's
very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
And I am just looking, sorry, up on my map. So right, the Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto DMA. So it does cover all of that. That's rather large. There are still, so it's a 97, so only 97 agents can be in at max. And there's already 54 signed up. So there's just about 40 seats left. So the good news is there is still space for anybody on this call who it does want to get in.
So this is for this is just for the $72 ones, right?
No, that's for the $1,500
So these are
ad fund. Yeah.
the seats. Okay, so there's
right. There is no limit on the $72 one. The original thought was that there would be, because Greg's assumption, Greg Haig, who's founded this program, in his office, almost 100% of his agents who are in the 72 are also in the ad fund, and he expected that to carry over. So he originally put the cap on the 72, and we're finding that it's more of about 50% of agents are doing the national ad fund. And so he released the cap on people who can join 72. So that is open to anybody who wants in. It's the national ad fund that we're capping.
Got it. So how many seats are left? I'm sorry.
43 seats are left in the Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto DMA.
Okay. All right.
And Nicole, you've got your hand up.
Yes, I was told that there was something that was going on where if someone is talking to us about the 72 sold, that we can put them as like a sponsor type thing, where once I close or something like that, that they get a fee paid. Is that still happening? I saw it on one of the ads.
Yeah, for sure. So that was that ended November 30th for people to be able to sign up. And Michele actually asked me about that, so I got confirmation just last week that because that was what's supposed to happen. That is what happened. You can still name somebody as a sponsor, and because they have to run their coaching groups, and they're still doing that. So if somebody did refer you and they were a 72 sold agent before November 30th, then yes, that still applies for them. And just for specifics, if you're interested, they get out of the 25% referral fee that goes to 72 sold only on the 72 sold generated ad fund spot. So it's not the DIY ones, right? Because there's no referral fee on a lead that you generate yourself. So the referral fees from the national ad fund, it's a 25% referral fee. And of that, 5% of the total GCI goes into like this bucket for that person that basically gets held in there until that bucket fills up to $1,500. And then that person gets one free ad seat for 1 month. So there's no compensation, but that's just if anybody was looking for specifics, that's how that works.
When you're going through the 7, is that only when you sign up for the $1,500 ad space, or is that right?
That would be the only time that there is money going into their national ad fund bucket, but they should be I guess it does depend on the person, because some of them are only doing coaching groups for the ad fund and some of them are doing coaching groups for everybody, thinking that you might do the ad fund if you're not currently, but that's up
So
to
I
like
guess-
Christy DeWitt's is for everybody. Not, they don't all do that though.
Sorry, my question is where is, because I went to go do the 72 sold and I got all the way to the point where it said, put your credit card in, but I'm like, wait, I don't see where it says to put the sponsor person in.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just going to 72.
And that's on the
National right now.
$72 with the $200 activation fee part, or is that not true? Or is it on the?
I'm
ad
double
space
checking
side?
right now
Sorry.
because I want
Oh, it
to,
might be your.
that's okay. Want to answer your question correctly. And Michelle, you are not, oh, there we go. Okay, I don't see it on the 72 national anymore. And waiting for the page to load on the 72adfund.com site. And contribute here. Purchasing
There's a
brokerage email
question
address.
here. In the
Sorry, it's
comments.
not, yeah, sorry, I'm just looking, it's not, it must be on the second page. So I'll have to take a look at that, Nicole, because it's not on just the
Okay.
first page either. It must be on the second page. So Kelly wants to know, is there a contract for the $72 or is it something? Oh yeah, no, there are no contracts. There are no contracts for the $72 program or the $1,500 program. You choose month to month if you want in, if you want off, or if you want to turn the dial up or down on your ads. I can also say, yeah, for sure. I would also say if you haven't signed up yet, if you go to 72national.com, it's $199 to join. And then you won't pay your $72 until March 1st if you join this month. That $199, you get your money, you get that back if you cancel within 10 days. So if, me personally, I like testing things out. Like I want to know if it works for me, if it works in my area. So I would actually sign up, pay the $199, and then I would go all in. I would attend every call that they host in the next 8 to 9 days. I would try all of the marketing materials. I would use those with my sphere of influence. I would use those on Facebook. I would text out some of the videos to people who told me that they're on the fence or waiting for the spring buying season. I would go all in on it. And then I would put something in my calendar 9 days from now to check and see how I feel it's going. And if it's not going well, I would cancel. And if it's going great, I'd stay in. 43 Rockstar. No, I love that. Please don't change your name. Keep it that way.
There's also, if you can just explain to them, because there's a lot of people on here now that is in the program, when they get, if a lead came to me and it came to Desiree or it came to Kathy or it came to Lacey, bottom line is that the person inputted their name a few times.
Oh yeah, thank you. So I was on a call yesterday with a woman who her name is Hunter. She actually manages the CRM at 72 Sold, because I said, hey, I have a report of this happening, because Michele was like, hey, I've heard this happening. She said, yes, if a seller does go on there more than once, they sign up more than once, the system, only if they use different email addresses. Because Michele, if you go in once and you put in your name and your email address, and then you go in tomorrow and you put in that same name and that same email address is the key, it recognizes you and it's like, no. You were already here and we've already given your lead out. But if you use a different email address, it doesn't know that you're the same person. And so it would send that lead to a second person. If something other than that is happening, if you're like, no, we've got 3 agents who all got the exact same lead with the exact same email address, Hunter has asked us to please pass on the details, because that absolutely should not happen. A, all of you will get a credit back for a lead, and B, she needs to find out what's going on in the system.
Got it. Thank you so much. Go ahead. Is there any other questions, you guys, that
Yeah,
you,
me,
go ahead.
I have one.
Yes.
So Kelly, do when you get an agent, like an actual real estate agent, as a lead, and they have no
Yes.
intention on listing their house, should we notify 72 Sold so we get credited back for that
Yes.
too?
So
What?
yes, 2 things, it's actually 3 things going on there. Number 1, some of them are KW agents who are legitimately testing the system. Absolutely send that back to 72 Sold. They'll give you a new lead. Number 2, there are actually some agents whose brokers have told them to not list their own houses. And we have had agents list other agents' houses. So still give them a call, still find out. And if they're not with KW, pass on their name and information to Michele, because they might be somebody who wants to join your office and you just screw your downline. So
Yeah, no, I did that. I kind of
You're like, no, I'm
a
good. I
text
got
that I
that.
sent over,
Okay.
but this was a legit agent just wanting to
Just
know about
testing the
they didn't
system.
want to take our
Perfect.
calls, didn't want to do anything. So in
Yeah,
that
no.
instance, we can let them know.
Emails,
Okay.
yeah, forward that to 72 sold. Sorry, support at
Support.
72. Yeah,
Okay.
support at 72
Yeah.
sold.com, and they'll credit you back one of those. Nobody has asked it yet, but I do want to show you. I have it open for you all. So that large DMA that again is Stockton, Modesto, and Sacramento, maybe, like it's a very large DMA. And I don't know about you all, but I don't actually enjoy driving like 4 hours round trip for a listing appointment. That's not my jam. So what we've done in places, especially like California, is we've created these smaller zones. So once you've signed up under the Stockton DMA, you have the choice, and you certainly don't have to, you have a choice of selecting some smaller zones within that area. And this is when you all get to learn that I'm horrible at geography. And like, great, I used to live there, so I know that's San Jose. So Stockton is up in this area-ish. Anybody help me out? Rockstar, you're nodding your head. Is this about?
I think
Anyway.
the green area, yeah.
Okay, so the DMA is actually like this huge thing. You can come in and say, just give me this zone, just give me this zone. So as a heads up for you, that then you would only be receiving referrals within that zone. So that's something that does exist if that's a concern for anybody. All right, and your hand is up. Yes.
Yes, the question I have is, I've seen it over and over and over again on the 72 sold coaching Facebook page. And within my
I have
office,
a feeling I
and
know what
then
you're about
I've
to
had
ask
it,
about.
and that is, oh, I thought you were going to buy my home.
Oh, like they think you're an iBuyer.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if moving forward, the marketing, if they're taking in all this feedback, have they discussed this and future changes in the marketing to make it a little bit more clear?
So yes and no, there's 2 things on there. So there's a whole bunch of 72 sold Facebook groups out there.
Oh.
There is only one. Yeah. I was actually looking at them earlier today on a different conversation. And a lot of it's just because there's interest, there's excitement. So I just want to make sure that when we're talking about the 72 sold coaching page, we are talking about this one. Yes.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Okay, perfect. This is okay. So yes, this one is monitored and managed by 72 sold. So they do take feedback from that group. There are over 24 other 72 sold groups. Like one of them is for like Philly this, or, this particular market center. They're not in those. They don't know that kind of feedback. The other thing is those Monday, Wednesday, Friday calls. That's when you can also give the feedback of, hey, we're getting a lot of iBuyers. Can we change them? And so you'll see them quickly pivoting and changing the marketing based on that feedback too. That Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the official way of getting information. But yes, that one Facebook group is managed by 72 sold, and they do monitor it.
Has there been any discussion about these iBuyers? Like, oh, I thought you were going to buy my home.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep. The other thing that I thought you were going to ask about, so I do want to bring that up. There's another, it might be this, actually, no, it is this group. There are agents in here from all 50 states plus DC, right? They're from everywhere. Not every state has the same requirements that California does. You are going to see comments and they're saying, no, you don't have to say that you're with KW. You guys know that you do have to do that in California. You know that when they're like, hey, use this text exactly as it's written, you know that you also need to add your name, your broker's name, and your license number. I just want to be clear on that, some
We
of the people are
actually had this conversation
awesome.
on
Okay.
Zoom with our brokers too.
Great.
They
Okay.
were on the call, and it went at any social media. You need your name.
Always, yes. Anything
and
that
a
can be
DRE.
considered a first point of contact in California. There's Colorado is the same. There's a number of states like that. So I do want to just give everybody that little, if you're on these Facebook pages, just be cognizant of the fact that North Carolina doesn't care if you tell them. They don't even care that you're with you don't say that you're a real estate agent. It's the weirdest stuff, right? So just be careful. Always follow your local state guidelines. Always follow your broker's advice.
Awesome. Any other questions, you guys? People who are thinking about it, or people who are already in the business and just asking,
And then for
other
fun, I'm just
questions.
pulling up one more thing. The state of California, in the last 2 weeks, we've given out 830 listing referral leads. So it's kind of cool.
Very cool. So
Yeah.
there's another question here. I'm gonna let you read it so I don't have to say it.
Awesome. And yeah, no, please. And I'm just zooming in on the Stockton area because I want to see. Oh yeah. Okay. Is there a limited number of seats for the smaller geo zones? How does that work? So Karen, the way that it, for the bigger seats, the DMAs, there's one agent for every 15,000 houses. They are trying to work it out so that there's one agent for every, I think it's 1,500 houses within the smaller zones, but they're playing around with that. They're finding, this is new, right? We've only been national for 2 weeks now. So there are some zones that are not performing. They're just not. And there are some zones, there's one like in New York City that is just gangbusters right now, where we're like, oh my God, is this entire borough leaving New York? Like it's insane. So they're still playing around with some of those numbers. My personal suggestion is to choose at least 3 or 4 zones if you are going to go smaller. And then worst case scenario, if you do get a lead and you're like, listen, this is just 3 hours away and I'm just not driving it, not happening. You can go into the 72 portal and you can actually type in the zip code of the property address and it'll give you the list of agents who are 72 sold agents. Refer it to them, folks, and for like 50%, right? So that the agent who's closing it gets 50% commission. You pay the 25% to 72 sold, and you just made a 25% to cover the cost of your lead, right? You just made a 25% referral fee. Like that's not a bad deal, right?
So I have a
Rockstar.
question.
Mhm.
In regard, oh, go ahead, Janet. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
So my question is with the whole, within 15,000 houses, so we're basically all competing against each other in order to get the listing?
No, because each lead is only given to one agent.
Unless that agent says, you know what, I'm not able, are we able to pass like on a client? So say we go and meet with them and it's just not a good fit. Do we have the ability to say, you know what, we're going to actually pass this along back into 72 sold and then it gets dispersed? Because sometimes it's just not a good fit.
Could do that, but that does not have any benefit to you personally. Their commitment is that they will give you the 4 to 6 listing referrals a month in the National Ad Fund. They're not saying that you're going to like all of them.
Okay, so then we can go ahead and say, this one's just not a good fit for me, but I think it'd be a good fit for Des. I can give it to Desiree and take the 25% if Desiree's willing to do the split with me.
Yes. Yep. 100%.
But you're right, Nicole, in the sense that it has to be part of the 72 sold family. It can't be
Certified.
Tom out here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever said certified, thumbs up on that one.
Certified.
Yes.
Nicole did. Uh-huh.
So I have 2 questions. One is, now I'm gonna forget one. Oh, so let's say I just got a referral actually today and they were in Oakland and I thought long and hard about the showings in Oakland. So I gave
Well, and
it
it also depends like which part of Oakland is it, the Oakland Hills? Because I might take that for 2.4 million.
Well,
Are we talking downtown
I
Oakland?
looked.
Possibly not.
I looked.
Okay.
You better take it.
But I ended up referring it to someone else. Ultimately it's a no-go because he's an investor flipper who already has a realtor and he just wanted to see how much we'd pay for his home. And
it was that buyer. Okay.
But with that being said, that is now, I didn't like switch it over to her or anything yet because it happened just boom, boom, boom. But that is 1 referral on my allotment, none on hers, correct?
There are no allotments on referrals.
Okay, so what's interesting is on the coaching page, they talk about, oh, well, that won't count against your allotment. They say that all the time. 4 to 6. I think people are under the understanding that.
So do me a favor. I'm in that group.
Mhm.
I don't spend a lot of, I don't have time to go on Facebook a lot. Do me a favor. When you see something like that, can you tag me just so that I'll get a notification. I can take, thank you so much. Cause you get your expected 4 to 6 listing referrals. We are definitely seeing some agents are getting considerably more than that already. In some areas, there's like only 3, but where I live in East Austin, there's like 5 agents who've signed up in just that area. They're all getting more leads than they're expecting. But if one of them just refers every single lead to somebody else, they don't get an extra bank of leads. They got their 4 to 6.
That's what they're saying, their allotment. you know.
Yeah, that's why if you tag me when you see that comment so I can dig in on that a little bit and I can find out who's posting it and possibly just have an education moment with somebody.
I don't know if you guys are still confused, but I'm still confused because you just said they're 4 to 6. So
Yeah.
and I know
So
that's what he's estimating, but let's just say I've already had 6, number 6, and
Sure.
I referred it to Desiree.
Right.
And does that mean it still stays my 6?
Yes.
And okay, that's what I'm meaning. And I will be pushed back down, and even though I referred it and sent it over to her, I'll be pushed back down and I won't be a priority for another lead.
Correct, until the other people in that area have gotten their 6. And then you're back on the list for whoever now gets a 7th, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7th. Whether you referred it out or kept it for yourself, that counted as a lead to you because it was in an area that you said that you would cover.
Okay.
So basically everyone is allowed at 6 and then one. So say there's 10 of us in one or 30 of us in one, and there's 30 times 6, however many that is off the top of my head, 120, right? No, 36. Thank you. I'm like 180. And then after the 180 leads come in, then it goes back. How do they determine who goes back up to the very top again?
It's
how
round
you
robin.
registered?
Yep,
Round
it
robin.
is round robin how you registered. Yep, it's just name, boop, 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 boop. The gets a little funky when you start going into the smaller zones, right? Is because let's say we've got 3 people in zone 1, and then 3 people have said they'll take zone 1 and zone 2. Everybody, like this people who are only like this lead comes in here. And I'm going to get it because I was the first one to sign up. So I got a lead. Second person, Michele is the next one in there. She gets a lead. And then Nicole, you're the third one, you get a lead. And then we get another lead over here in zone 1. It's going to go to one of these 3 people who signed up for zones 1, 2, and 3, right? And so then they've each gotten one. And then we get a lead for zone 2. It's going to go to one of these people. These people might fill up on their zone 2 because there's tons of people. And then, and so we've each have only gotten one because we're only in one zone. Does that make sense? Or did I just completely overcomplicate the situation?
I understand that, but
Okay.
Our zone, you have to understand, goes from where our offices are to San Francisco.
Your DMA is that big, not your zones. The zones is the map I just showed you.
Yeah, the purple. Well, I had to pick one, and I put it. I don't know. The purple might be 13.
You had to pick a DMA.
Yeah.
Zones are optional.
Okay,
all right, so here it is again.
Look at that because I don't know the
Yeah, that's okay. So these are the zones. And so if you think about, here, I'm going to zoom out. It's especially pronounced in a place like 72 National. And just addressing the comment in the chat, minimum is 4, not 6. It's expected 4 to 6. Clicking enroll, here's the media map. Okay, so let me say California. And anybody could do what I'm doing here, which is just my 72 National. Okay, so like see this huge LA DMA, this giant red thing? And then you guys are in this giant green thing, right? That goes all the way up to, is that Shasta way up there? El Dorado? Okay, so it's this huge DMA that you had to select when you joined. What you didn't have to do, this is optional, is picking one of these smaller zones. So see, there's a lot more zones than there are DMAs, right?
I never even seen this map before. The first
you
one.
would not see this map. Oh, this map here, the DMAs?
Yeah, never saw it.
You wouldn't have needed to because you knew that you were Stockton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. This is on 72 National. If you do not know your media market, you can click the media map. And some people who live in Oneonta County might not know that they're part of the LA DMA because Inyo, that's Inyo, isn't it? Anyway, but the zones are optional. That's not that. The zones here are optional. And so there's, in your area, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 zones within your DMA that so you could choose to select, but you don't have to.
So if you choose a zone instead of it just being all 7 zones, I think you said, are you more likely to get more leads? Because you're zoned in on one specific area, like you're more likely to get the leads in that area because then it does not become a red robin.
It is still a round robin, sorry, not
A round robin, yeah.
It is still round robin, but, and again, my suggestion is to pick more than one zone, because we are seeing, like I said, we're seeing, it's happening, again, it's not happening in California so much, but there's this one thing where like this New York zone is absolutely insane. And we literally in 2 weeks have had some people already receiving over a dozen leads from this one zone, and a zone right next to it is in New Jersey, and they're getting like 1 or 2 leads.
So then if
So
we're all
we did
part
all
this-
of the math based on DMAs.
you
We
just
haven't
muted?
done the math based on these
Or is it not? Can you just zoom out?
zones.
Sorry, everybody's on one. So, okay, so I'm a little confused then, because it's going back to what you said. So if we have all 7 zones and we don't click on a specific zone and we keep the all 7, we're more likely to get less leads than we would more leads, because if you actually zone in on a specific zone, then your round robin is less, correct?
No, and I'm so sorry, because I actually am late for a call. I only had 30 minutes for this. Michelle, it sounds like we're gonna need to set up a separate call where we can, maybe I can even bring in Hunter. I don't know, but she works at 72 Sold, but she manages the CRM and she can like give you the specific math
would be
behind the
wonderful.
scenes. I'll see if we can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Michelle and I, you will connect to find another one where we can really dive in deep on some of these. If anybody has any questions that I wasn't able to get to, my email address is kelly@kw.com. I just popped it in the chat. And Nicole, I'm so sorry that we didn't have time to go deep into that, but
No, that's okay. We can
Okay.
schedule our own little thing too. Like I
Okay.
can talk to you one-on-one. I'm okay with that. Thank you.
okay, awesome. All right,
Kelly.
thank you, everybody. Okay,
Take care.
bye.
Bye, you guys. Thank you.